Hello, this is Bridget with Divine Essentials. Alright guys, so today was kind of weird. I got some comments from an old pick a card that I did for some reason that's been getting recommended a lot to people, and they were like, this is crazy, this is from like 3 years ago, but it resonates. So just a reminder that my readings are timeless. So if you ever are wanting to see a pick a card reading, you can, because I've made many of them, and all of the other things that I've done, like they find you when they're meant to. So I'm going to do a pick a card here, and I have like it's a shamanic soul growth, soul truth type of theme. Okay, so this is the Spirit of the Wheel deck, and this is just like a shamanic energy. We're going to figure out like what shamanic messages do you need at this time. And then over here we have the soul truth, which I pulled one card for each pile, which is underneath these cards, that will help you with self-awareness. And I did add some crystals up there if you're drawn to a particular one instead of the pile. There's rainbow moonstone, which will help with intuition. There's this little pyramid here, which again is like a shamanic-y type of energy. Can't think of the exact name for it, but I know it is similar to like these stones here, which they always have like weird names, but they're basically grounding, shamanic, ancestor type of energy. And then this thing here, again, don't remember the name of it, but it's a white crystal, and it's good for upliftment. It's good for like calming. It's good for basically just healing and connecting with like your crown chakra, uplifting you, helping you to connect to source, and also just like releasing stress, anxiety, things like that. I do know the name of it, but it won't come out of my brain at this moment. Um, Sorry, just what happens. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. We're going to start with pile 1 at 2 minutes here. And we're going to start with this deck, the Spirit of the Wheel, for the shamanic messages that you need. And we have purity, the spirit path of the north, inner child, innocence, and freedom. So the last couple of days I've been being drawn to something that I've been seeing, and it's about this girl, Summer Wells, who was kidnapped at 5 years old, supposedly kidnapped at 5 years old. And I started seeing stuff about her a couple of days ago and was like sucked into this whole, like watching these deep dives into interviews with the parents and stuff. And then I found out 3 days ago was her 8th birthday. And it's been tormenting me. It's been really bad. I've been in bed, I've cried. Like it's hard for me to even just mention it because I just want to cry about it. But there's an innocence about this girl. There's purity about the girl. And I feel like it's been taken from her. I feel like the parents sold her. And it's again, my intuition is just like, and process of elimination, just researching a little bit into it, hearing the stuff that the father has said, hearing the stuff that the other people say, you know, watching people who are experts in the fields of analyzing that type of stuff and interviewing criminals and things like that. I feel that they sold her, and I find it interesting that this is coming through, because I do feel like there's deeper reasons why I've been pulled to it. And I've noticed even just weird things. So today I saw something on Instagram or Facebook, one of those, like a short, and it was a girl going off about Britney Spears and how she's like, why, like, it doesn't seem right. And even though it's a completely different thing, right? Like it's not the same thing as this little Summer Wells girl, but the feelings that the woman, the creator of that video, was expressing are very similar to, like, we can see there's a problem here, guys. Like, why aren't we doing anything about this? And one of the themes that was coming up for myself was like, I feel like I don't do what matters. Like, I feel like I need to do more that feels like it actually matters, that feels like it's actually helpful, that gets things like that, helped. And so you may be in that energy too right now, where you're noticing, think of, like, again, with Britney Spears, she was an innocent child when she got pushed into the role that she got pushed into. And then she had all of her freedoms taken away, and she had all of her innocence taken away, and her inner child never got to grow up. And that's the same thing with Summer. And so if you resonate with that on any level inside of yourself, you probably will find yourself get upset or, overwhelmed when you see others that are dealing with that in some way. So you may have this theme coming up right now where innocence and freedom and inner child themes are coming up to the surface. And 31 for me is a divine feminine number. The 13 ties to the divine feminine. So when I see 31, that also ties to that for me. And we have Father Son, and it says direction, illumination, active growth. And we have another 3 here. So I'm getting like Trinity energy too. And it's interesting. The other day I saw somebody talking about like, she was like, this is so wrong. Because she was talking about symbolism and like the trifecta symbol there, and she was trying to say that they were trying to say that this is the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, but no, they were saying this is the Father, Mother, and Child, or whatever, right? And I'm like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit which one it is, and why would it be so wrong to be the Mother, Father, Child? What is wrong with that? Why is that so appalling? And like, you know what I mean? It was weird, okay? But I saw something earlier today. I can't think of the name for the concept, but it was that same thing. Like, 2 people can look at one thing and take something totally different away from it. Like, when I look at this symbol, I see the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. But when I look at this symbol, I see the Father, Mother, and Son. And you don't have to be with each other about it. Just accept that the other person doesn't see exactly what you see. What is so wrong with what other people see, you know? So you could be having illumination and taking a direction and finding growth within yourself to do that, you know? And I'm seeing a lot of 3s here. So I feel like there's something to do with 3 significantly happening in your life. And it may be going back 3 generations. It may be you're going to be bringing a child into this world, or it may be time for you to birth yourself into this world, a new version of yourself that's going to be going on a new path, that's going to illuminate growth, that's going to help break the freedom back into this world, that's going to help bring innocence back into this world. And then we have South with the shadow, lessons, growth, and trust with number 11. So I feel like, again, this is a time of awakening for you, and there could be a lot of lessons happening, but there's a lot of growth that are coming through these lessons. So just trust and have faith that whatever is happening, even if it's difficult, even if it brings up old stuff, there's a reason for it. Okay, you're healing, you're growing, you're overcoming, and you may be helping others that have come before you and helping those that come after you, which is a concept within the shamanic traditions. It's like, you know, we do this work for ourselves, we do this for those who've come before us, and we do this for those who are going to come after us, our children's children, because we care, you know? And then we have the Stone of the Ancestors, which I feel like, again, kind of brings all of this together, where there's a higher good, and you're listening to the guidance, and you're making the choice to go for what the greater good is. You're not necessarily going for just unpure motives, or for things that don't make sense, or that don't make sense to you, and you're trying to find a new path and a new direction that's going to actually mean something to you, and it's going to show the growth that you've made as a person, and maybe help others to grow, and to help those who've come before you that didn't get that opportunity to grow, or help those who will never get that chance, those who lost their innocence, those who lost their freedom, those who never gain it again. Is like you're going to do something for that, I feel. And then we have, what am I looking for outside myself that is already within me? And it says, are you looking for more guidance, confidence, peace, wisdom, love, or something else? When we search outside ourselves, we can become overwhelmed, frustrated, and never feel quite good enough. It's time to go inward to find everything that you seek. All the answers you need lie within you. So today's soul action says to breathe in your favorite essential oil, inhale deeply into your belly, drop your shoulders, and spend some time hanging out with your soul today. Ask for what you need and be ready for the answers. So last night I was doing a little practice while I was driving, and I was like, show me yes, with, you know, I'm just drive and relax. I said, show me yes, and I paid attention to the sensations in my body. And then I said, show me no, and paid attention to the sensations in my body, so that I could have a clear indicator of what yes was and what no was for that moment. And then I would ask the questions that I needed to ask, like, which way should I go right now? Should I head back this way? Because I was driving for Uber. And I listened, and I drove, and then I got a $50 ride, which is a pretty big ride. And I was like, yes. And I had only been out for like 10 minutes. So I took that and I was like, awesome sauce. And then when I was done with that, I was like, should I go home now? And I got another yes. And then I saw all these confirmation numbers. And then I got a sale on my Etsy shop. So it was just like, and it was all like 44s and 55s and lots of confirmation. So pay attention and ask, go within. Like, it could be something simple like that, or it could be something simple like, let me smell some essential oil, just connect with myself. But if you need a way to get answers, that could be a good way for you to do so. So I'm going to move on to pile number 2, but thank you. So pile number 2, we're going to go in here. We're going to start off with the Spirit of the Wheel deck for your shamanic messages. And then we have this for the soul truth, the self-awareness cards. So Corn Planting Moon says balance, energy, honesty, emotions. I feel like right now is a time where we have to tap into our emotions, or we are being pushed into our emotions. You may be more emotional than normal. I've been crying for the past like 3 days. And I don't normally cry. And it's not over my own stuff, it's over stuff that I'm seeing. Stuff that it is, it probably does connect to within myself as well, but it's being triggered by things outside of me too. So you may be going within at this time, or noticing more emotions at this time, and it's pushing you to go within, to get balanced, and to find what your honest truth is, and to be honest with yourself of like, why, like the things that I've been emotional about, I'm like, why is this making me emotional? Why is this bothering me? What is this telling me? What should I do with this? And I'm asking those questions inward and outward, and that helps us sometimes to just plant the seeds so that we can balance things, so we can get honest with ourselves, and so we can listen to our emotions that are there for a reason. And look at this, you got balance again. So pay attention to the synchronicity. Like, that's a perfect example. Like, when we see balancing energy and then we see balance in the next card, that is a synchronicity. That is a message. That is guidance that's coming through. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's loud. The more that you pay attention to the subtle synchronicity, the more loud it gets. My life is a constant stream of ridiculous stuff, just like that you would never think would be there, but there it is. And it tells me I'm on the right path, or it tells me to keep digging into this. So keep digging, because you're going to find your certainty, and be certain about the synchronicity, but stay balanced too. Don't get weird about it and be like, I'm just going to, throw all caution to the side. Like, I use these things in my everyday life for my own safety and for my own growth and for my own health. Like, should I do this or should I not do that? And if it seems like something silly, we're not going to do it, even if my intuition or the number, maybe indicate that I should. You know what I mean? So be careful with what you are, allowing your emotions to dictate, but also honor them, see what the honesty is within them. What is it honestly trying to push you into doing? Find certainty at this time, which I feel you will be. And then we have Big Winds Moon, leadership, self-discipline, and psychic abilities with 18. So today I saw a thing, it's one of those things like, what dates, the people born on these dates are more but likely to do this or likely to do that. And it was people with psychic abilities, and I'm born on the 18th, and 18 was one of the numbers. So I was like, oh, that's funny. So you may be somebody that maybe you're born on one of those days. It doesn't have to be the 18th. It could be any of these days. It could be the 25th, could be the 21st, could be some synchronistic thing that's going to tie into all of this. But you probably have psychic abilities, like we're seeing here, balancing your emotions, paying attention. Like, you'd have to be pretty intuitive to even notice synchronicity. I feel there's a need to be able to be intuitive, to recognize those patterns and then read the energy of those patterns. So I feel like being self-disciplined at this time is going to help you to lead yourself into a better position. It's going to enhance your psychic abilities, and there's going to be big change that's happening for you. And I'm noticing you've got all moons here. So again, all the moon energy is divine feminine intuition energy. So you're probably diving deeper, taking a leadership role into balancing and understanding your emotions and your intuition, which are very tied together, and honoring the truth of those things so that you can heal and grow. And then we have trust. So personal space, openness, and faith. And we have 3-6 here. So whenever I see that, it reminds me of Nikola Tesla, 369, the secrets of the universe, which is synchronicity and seeing those patterns again. Trust the path of the south. Trust yourself, trust, and give yourself, again, this time to spend alone in your own space, create sacred space so that you can be open and have faith in what things are happening. So in the first pile, I'm at the last of it, I mentioned doing like a little thing that can help people. Like if you need to trust yourself or listen to synchronicity or get messages from spirit. I was doing this last night as I was driving, and I said, show me yes, and I paid attention to the sensations in the body. And then I said, show me no, and I paid attention to the sensations in the body. I got two different, very distinct sensations. When I was getting yes, there was like a sinking feeling. When I was getting no, it was a rising feeling. Even though that may seem contradictory, that's just what was happening. So I honored it, and then I asked for, should I do this? Should I drive over here or should I go over there? And I got my answer, and I did, and it led me 5 minutes away from there into a $50 order with Uber. And I was like, oh, cool. And last night was the first night I've done Uber in 4 years. So it was definitely, good thing. And then I did it again at the end. I was like, should I go home? And I got the yes. And it was 2:44 a.m. that I'd be getting home. And it was a 44-minute drive. And I was going 44 miles per hour. And it was just like all of this stuff. And as soon as I started going home, I get a ching-ching from my Etsy with a $55 order. Synchronicity. So you've got to give yourself that, like, you don't even have to be in like a sacred crazy, like, I've set up all this stuff and I'm doing all these, I was driving like but I tapped into my own personal space and had faith in the answers, and I trusted the answers, and that guided me to receiving. So you do have these abilities. Trust your intuition. And then with this, it seems perfect. Am I letting fear stop me? Sometimes we would let fear stop us. Maybe I wouldn't listen to that yes or that no, and then I don't get that $50 ride, or I don't go home and something bad happens, or I, just screw something up in some way and it comes back, and we may not know that we did, whatever we did was the cause of it, but we should have faith in that we can dictate the cause of action. Every action we have is going to have a reaction, and everything that you do will implement into that. It's going to help to determine the outcomes. And if you have trust and faith in them, and you pay attention to the universe, and you use the universe on your side, things will get better. But we a lot of times will let our fears stop us, or our anxieties block us, or our emotions get the best of us. Are you experiencing a mountain of fear right now? Are you stalling, freezing, or giving up? The juicy secret is that you are the boss of fear. You are unstoppable, but it is up to you to see that by taking action. Today, be brave and do it scared. Choose one fear to move through it. You are in need of a hero, so that is who you will become. And this has been perfect again in my own life. Like, the past couple of days, I was kind of frozen and stuck. And I've got other things going on in my life that I got to do this, but I keep getting frozen and stuck. And a lot of it is self-sabotage out of fear. Of what if I do and it doesn't work out, or like the last time I did it, this happened, or what if I don't get the same result? And it's hard, and there's the people who are coming from like the 0 point where it's like, I haven't ever done any of this, right? And I don't know what the outcome's going to be. What if it's not a good outcome? That's a lot of fear. Then there's the people in the position where like I've done stuff and I was good at it, right? And I did great. It was amazing. But then I stopped, and now to start again, it's almost like you get fearful of not being able to achieve what you've achieved before, or not remembering the right way, or not getting the results as fast as you would want them to be because they were so easily before. So we got to let ourselves build back up and not be, frozen. Because if we don't do anything, like I was saying, every action has a reaction. If we don't take any action, then there's no reaction. There's nothing that's going to happen other than probably more of the same, or worse, and more of the same can very easily become worse if like what's going on currently isn't good, and we continue on that, not doing anything about it or changing anything, then that mountain of not good is going to get worse. So try to overcome your fears and take action towards the things that are going to make you feel good. Trust your intuition. It will guide you, and if you are emotional, take some time out by yourself to conquer these fears and to get honest with yourself about what is it that I'm so afraid of? Am I afraid of success? Am I afraid of making a fool of myself? And then try to work on those things. Like, remember, most of the people that you meet and the things that they see, they're going to forget about in 5-10 minutes, unless you're very memorable. And if you're very memorable, that's a good thing. That means you're probably not going to be screwing up too bad. That means that you will get something out of it. So, try not to let fear of what other people think stop you. Try not to let the fear of not being able to mount up to who you think you should be stop you. and just take some actions. So I'm going to move on to pile number 3. Thank you very much. And for pile number 3, we have, again, Spirit of the Wheel for the shamanic messages, and then the Soul Truth for some self-awareness messages. And the first card here is Strength, Spirit Path of the West, offering assistance, mediation, and patience. So I feel like you may need some strength at this time to deal with some stuff, and there may be a lot of chaos going on outside of you. You may need to offer assistance in a way of mediating a situation. Maybe it's between family or friends or coworkers, or maybe it's even internal, okay? Maybe there's an old version of yourself fighting a new version of yourself, or maybe there's an anxious version of yourself fighting the calm version of yourself. And I feel like this is going to be kind of, present in all of us to different degrees. So offer your own assistance to yourself. Mediate those things within yourself. Have patience with yourself. Like, if you're trying to do too much and you get overwhelmed or burnt out, be patient with yourself to recover, but learn from that past mistake. Don't repeat that cycle. If you are having internal battles over what you do or who you're near or what you want to do, try to, again, mediate that and be patient with yourself to figure it out. Don't rush into anything. Don't make hasty choices, and don't make choices based off of ego or like basic need instinct type of level, the bottom level, like we're like, I need to eat. That's our basic instinct level. That's the serpent level. That's the root chakra. That's where we all begin. And it's easy to get sucked down there out of fear. It's easy to get stuck, I got to eat, so I'm going to do this thing because it has the quickest reward, and I'm going to hoard it all. And, and that can be bad because it blocks us from receiving and trusting and opening up and getting creative and exploring and finding that power and that strength and that confidence to understand and to know and to intuitively grow and receive things and blessings from the universe. So mediate those parts of yourself and be patient with yourself at this time. Find that strength inside, because I do feel clarity is going to be coming. There's going to be some breakthrough, but it's going to come from your inner vision. So again, be patient with yourself, go within, trust your inner vision, and know that that will be the truth. The clarity and the truth will always be revealed, even when it's within ourselves that we're lost, or even when it's the things around us that we're not quite sure about, or we are doubting ourselves, or we're doubting others about. The truth will always be revealed. So just trust that it's going to be revealed. Know that it's like there's usually no other way. It may take a long time, but it doesn't have to either. It's dependent on how long we allow it to take by not mediating within ourselves, not being patient, not assisting ourselves to explore these things, or to get really clear with ourselves, or to even take the time out to analyze things or look at things on a deeper level, meditate on them, go within yourself and figure out what is going on here so that you can have a breakthrough and recognize the truth. And then, maybe talk to other people. Maybe there's mediation that you need from others. If you're dealing with something with a particular person and they're a manipulative person, you may not see everything that they're doing. But if you bring that to someone else, they may be very easily able to be like, dude, that's not right. And confirm the things that you're feeling but aren't so sure about, And again, you may be manipulating yourself. So bringing it to outside of yourself and being like, bapa da boop. Other people could be like, oh, no, that's not what we see here. And that may help you, again, to have that breakthrough and realize, like, that's not the truth. I'm not a piece of crap. I'm not stupid. I'm not whatever it is. And then love says Spirit Path of the South, partnerships, unconditional love, rejuvenation. So I feel like there may be something going on here where there's going to be a breakthrough for some of you, but you need to have trust that the truth will be revealed. Like if there's love between you and another person, again, it's the truth. The truth will be revealed. Like if somebody truly loves you, they're not going to keep it to themselves till maybe they will till they're dead, but it would be very silly. But if you don't believe that they will, then they probably won't. Or if you don't allow this time in that patience for it to come, it may not manifest. Like if you chase after someone because you think, like, I think they love me, but they're just not telling me, so I'm just going to go put it on them. Like, you love me, but they may be dealing with something that needs to be mediated, and you may need to offer assistance through patience of being like, all right, this person has a hard time with this. Let them deal with it, And that may rejuvenate, just by giving that space or that time or mediating that type of experience, that could help bring a breakthrough. And the truth could be brought to the forefront. But for some of you too, there may be the breakthrough and the truth of realizing that you deserve unconditional love, and that you may need to mediate with a situation or have someone on the outside help you to see that, so that you don't realize, so that you can realize, like, okay, this person isn't offering me unconditional love. Maybe they're manipulating me. Maybe they're hurting me. Maybe they're whatever it is. And maybe I have been in a situation where I wasn't clearly seeing that, or I was ignoring that, or sweeping that under the rug, just because you love that person unconditionally. So I feel like for some of you, there's somebody that loves you unconditionally. The truth will be revealed of that. But there's probably things on your side too that need to be acknowledged for that to happen. And then others, there may be somebody that you would hope that this is the truth, and maybe you're holding on to it too long, and it's actually hindering you from receiving this, because if they don't truly unconditionally love you, then you wanting them to isn't going to make that happen. And if anything, it'll just prolong you from ever receiving it from someone that actually will and does, because, you don't want to see that truth, which again, the truth will always be revealed. So I feel like, there's a 50-50 here. Some of you are on one side, some of you on the other. Take it as it resonates, and try not to get offended by that. Try not to get upset by that. If it triggers you, look at that and figure out why. Is there truth in that, or is it my fear? Because those two things could be very real. Some of you may be triggered just because it's the fear that it's not the truth, but deep down you know that the truth is that they do. And some of you may be triggered at the fact that that's just the truth. So, look at it, figure it out. Mother Earth, creative feminine force, nurturing birth. So mother yourself, nurture yourself, love yourself. The best way to find love within others and all of that is to love yourself, and to actually have boundaries and self-respect and things on how you're going to allow people to treat you, how you're going to allow yourself to be treated. Because if you're not treating yourself the good way, and if you're not putting up boundaries and healthy respect and all of that, if you're not truly loving yourself, then that opens the door for people who aren't going to love you either, to use you and manipulate you and drag you along in a situation that's not very helpful. So mediate with yourself, mother yourself, nurture yourself, and I feel like you're going to be going through a rebirth. And even those of you that are dealing with somebody that truly loves you but can't tell you, if that's a situation, that still calls to be like there's something on your side too. That doesn't happen just because. There's always two to every tango. So if the person that you're dealing with can't tell the truth of that they love you, where are you denying the truth? Where are you not showing your love for yourself? Where are you not maybe, expressing in your emotions and your deep feelings and all of that? So again, maybe there's a mediation that's necessary to offer assistance to the situation. Maybe getting an outside perspective will help you to find the strength and the clarity that is needed to have a breakthrough in the situation so that you can receive unconditional love. And I feel like it's going to be necessary to nurture and, have this rebirth. And then we have, what expectations do I have that are impossible to meet? So again, it ties into this. For some of you, it could be like, I really want this person to love me unconditionally, even though they don't. So that would be impossible. And then for others of you, it could be other things, So the expectations we have, mostly delusional and impossible to meet. We then experience disappointment with ourselves or with a relationship when they are not met. It's time to dissolve your expectations and replace them with gratitude. So even if you did have a person that loves you and can't tell you, instead of focusing on that, focus on the fact that they do love you. And focus on being strong enough and clear enough with yourself to know that I don't need them to tell me to know it. I don't need them to tell me to even impact my life at all, It's just, you don't have to be personally impacted by something like that. And this could even be with mothers and fathers. It doesn't have to be romantic love. Maybe, because we expect our parents to unconditionally love us, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they love us with conditions. Sometimes they weren't loved appropriately, so they've passed that down. And it will take great strength and clarity to see that and recognize that, so you don't mother that into this world, so that you don't birth that into another generation or to another child. So being grateful for the fact that you can acknowledge these things, being grateful for the fact that there is love, if there is love, being grateful for the fact that even if there isn't unconditional love, it doesn't mean that you're not lovable, Be grateful that you are being summoned to more peace. Peace is home for our soul, and it is accompanied by trust, and it comes when you surrender and focus only on what you can control. If you expect nothing and are grateful for everything, you will experience extreme fulfillment. So, like I said, we may want somebody to do something because we, that would feel good or whatever, but we don't need them to do that. Needing usually blocks us from receiving. Needing nothing attracts everything. So don't need anything. Be grateful for everything that you have, and I guarantee you more will come. Every time we do this, every time I've done this, it has happened, you know, and it happens quickly. But it's easy to fall out of that path of like, I'm so grateful for this, and I'm so grateful, because things go wrong. We have bad days. Stuff happens. People suck. And it's like, what the fuck? But if you can switch it up and be like, I'm so grateful, even if you don't mean it in that moment, just start focusing over there. It will eventually get easier to just default to, I'm so grateful for this. So grateful that I have this opportunity. I'm so grateful that I'm fucking alive. I'm so grateful that beep. Start as basic as I'm grateful that I can breathe. I'm grateful that I have a bed. I'm grateful that I have feet. I'm grateful that I can walk. I'm grateful that I can talk. I'm grateful that I have ears. I'm grateful I have a phone. I'm grateful I'm wherever I am, doing whatever I'm doing. And the things that you're doing and having and creating will get much better. Okay? So hopefully that will assist you guys. Thank you very much. All my readings are timeless. So if there's another one you are interested in checking out, there's plenty of them on the channel. If there's another topic you want me to cover, let me know. I'm going to be live on the Divine Essentials channel very soon. In Munay. Namaste.